Okay, let's see here. Let me go ahead and find. Very good. Okay. This is a point that I want to make. And if you go ahead and read Rashad's books, he has chapter 26 and 28, and they're both with initial T.S.M. Okay, both of them. And none of those numbers, once they are counted, and also minding you that there is no argument with how you count those T.S.M. They are very unique letters. There's no alifs there, there's no hamza, nothing. Okay? So you can argue that this can be spelled out this way and that way. Okay? You can't do that. So those counts are very robust, and there's no argument. Okay? What happens is that when you count them, they do not become divisible by 19. Okay? One is 611, which is 13 times 47. Okay? And so what I've done here, I've done for chapter 26 verse, which is called the poetry. We're going to start it tonight, inshallah. And so the indices of these prime factors are 6 and 15. 6/15th composite happens to be 748, and 748's lonely prime happens to be 9127. Okay? And chapter 9 or Surah 9 has 127 verses. Okay? That is amazing. So, it is not divisible by 19, but it goes through this 19 mechanism. Okay? Based on these prime numbers, based on factorization of these numbers, it has a completely different path. Because that's how God did it. That the number of T.S.M. in that chapter actually generates 927 verses. Okay? So here what I did was, I said the sum of the frequencies of T.S.M. in Surah 28 is 581. Okay? And 581st Gaussian prime happens to be 9343. And so I cut and paste this from our earlier things. And I said that the 19th lonely Gaussian composite happens to be 389. And 389th individual twin prime is 9343. But the 1157th prime number is 9343. And if you pay just a little bit of attention here, 9343, the digital sum of 9343 is 19. Okay? Now, furthermore, 195th twin prime pair is 9341 and 9343. But 195 is the numerical value of Kaf, 20, Ha, 5, Ya, 10, Ain, 70, and Sad, 90, and they add up to 195 in Surah 19. Okay? You see how the frequency of T.S.M. in chapter 28 actually generates the initials in chapter 19. So 1157 happens to be the 341st semi-prime, which is 11 times 31. But 1131 or 1131st prime is again 9127. 1, 1, 5, and 7 are the indices of prime 2, 2, 11, and 17. And 2 times 2 times 11 times 17 is 748. And 748th lonely prime is 9127, as we mentioned up there. Okay. So you see, and 748 also, the digital sum of 748 also adds up to 19. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 7 is 19. 9127 adds up to 19. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 7 is 19. How many different ways do we want God to tell us this? Okay? When you read those verses that God says that these are the signs of this book, after those initials, okay? God said these are the signs of this book. Now you see why he's saying that. That there is a relation between that and how the Quran is actually generated. How many verses are supposed to be in chapter 9? Okay. What are the numerical value of Qaf Ya Ya Ain Sad is in chapter 19? That generates that. You don't have to count it. It generates it for you. This is what the gravitas that God has added to what I was just saying in the other unit of these prayers. We have to pay attention. We cannot act and behave the same way as the rest of the creation who do not have this kind of abilities to verify it for themselves and come to the same conclusion, given the fact that they do not cheat, that they are honest researchers, that they're people who are honest in their tasks. In their work, they are honest, which is a requirement. But then again, as I said, those laws that are being broken now, if you are not honest, the balance is being broken. The same thing that you use to actually find out the answer to your algebraic equation, that you use the law of balance. You turn around and you betray the law of balance by doing something which is not honest. That is what God is telling us not to do. So if you are honest, then those things will come out, and they will come in a fashion that actually adds to the glorification of God. That how God is actually in charge, and we have to put our trust in Him. Yes, sir, we accept it. When you're telling us this, we accept it. We don't know how, but we accept it. And we accept it when He tells us that He creates what you do not know. We don't turn around and say, what does He create? Okay. If He wanted to tell us, He would have told us. That is enough for me. I'm not going to make hadith or this and that, the others, to explain that. If He wanted to say it, He would have said it. He said it. He said, look, there are things in there, if it were revealed to you, it would have been damaging to you. Okay? God deliberately overlooks it. That's what God says. So that is enough for me. So the rest of the stuff that comes to us, okay, those signs that we receive every week, okay, then I'm going to also talk about it tonight because I don't have to talk. I don't have time to do it. I want to go back to chapter 59, verse 21 and discuss that as part of the Quranic study tonight. Inshallah. Okay? As I said, I don't have time. We have to pay attention. So it cannot be done in a headed up fashion, in a rush way. We have to pay attention and we have to ponder and learn. Okay. That is who God wants us to be. Somebody who verifies the thing that He has given us. God wants to do the verification for ourselves to add to His glorification. So that's the thing for today. That's the discussion for today. And I'm going to stop here and we finish our Jum'ah. Allahum Kabir.